Doncic is back in. Oh, LeBron! Oh! He reached back and then threw it down with the left hand.
LeBron James is 41 years old and still flying through the air like he just found the fountain of youth in a Gatorade bottle. Most people his age are worried about back pain from sleeping wrong, but he's out here catching posters on the Wizards. It makes you wonder, is this just good genes, or is science doing the heavy lifting? Before we get into the supplements, do you think LeBron is actually the GOAT, or is he just the most expensive science project in NBA history?
By 8,
This crowd's happy now.
Let's be real for a second. We all saw that clip against Washington. LeBron is barreling down the lane. 41 years of mileage on those knees, and he decides to reach back with his left hand and flush a dunk so hard the rim is still vibrating. But let's look at the math here. The average NBA player retires around 33. By 35, most music stars are looking like they're running in sand. Kobe, Shaq, Dirk. By the end, they were moving like they had bricks in their socks. Meanwhile, LeBron is at an age where he should be transitioning into a podcast and golf lifestyle. Music, yet, he's still playing 35 minutes a night and leading fast breaks. It's almost as if he's found a way to stop time. Or more accurately, maybe his investments are doing the stopping for him.
If the world understood what LeBron did, like other basketball players will hear what LeBron does and go, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player. You're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. It's like, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter.
What do you think he's doing?
Only one. We have the same drug guy, if you will. I know exactly what he's doing. But there's only one golfer.
Please tell.
There's only one golfer. I'm not going to. But there's only one golfer that follows the big three. The big three is EPO, growth hormone, testosterone. That's the Lance Armstrong diet. There's one golfer, but it's Tiger Woods. Like, yes, it does matter. People will say it all the time. It doesn't matter. John Daly won it. It's like, it matters. Trust me that it matters. EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it. It matters. And if other basketballers understood what it did, EPO increases your red blood cells, which gives you endurance so you can play all game long. You can shoot in the fourth
more
quarter
red blood
just
cells,
like you
more
shot in the
oxygen
fourth
in your red
minute.
blood cells. Okay, got you.
It's the king of performance enhancers.
You've probably heard the PR-friendly version of this story. Maverick Carter and the LeBron camp love to tell us that he spends $5 million a year on his body. That's a lovely, wholesome number. It makes you think of fancy organic kale, cryotherapy tanks, and maybe a very expensive personal trainer who yells at him to do one more rep. We're supposed to believe that if we all just had $5 million and a hyperbaric chamber, we'd also be windmill dunking at 40. Sure. And I'm sure that hyperbaric chamber is definitely filled with extra oxygen and nothing else. Definitely no special sauces being whipped up in the back of that Mercedes Sprinter he uses as a mobile recovery unit.
I want to know, for the people, man, who are watching, what would this mean for LeBron James's legacy if this is true? If he's on this, Balco, this new juice. I want to know, man. Like the way he slipped it in, and he said it.
Control-Alt-Delete. Slip them. What? Damn, relax.
Damn.
Control-Alt-Delete.
Damn. That was almost as bad as Darvin Ham when he said whip it out. Huh?
Yeah,
that was crazy. My bad. Crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But the way KG said it and the way Paul Pierce reacted to it, it's kind of like, we knew about this. Like, he didn't say, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, there was no reaction to it.
Let's talk about the whispers that have been following the king for a decade. Remember the biogenesis scandal back in 2013? That was the one that took down Alex Rodriguez and a bunch of other MLB guys? Well, fast forward to some unredacted federal documents that surfaced. And guess whose name popped up? Not LeBron himself. He's too smart for that. But his inner circle, specifically his longtime friend and business manager, Ernest Randy Mims. Now, I'm not saying having your best friend linked to a ped clinic means you're juicing, but it's a bit like finding your roommate is a master chef while you're mysteriously gaining weight and eating 5-star meals every night. It's a coincidence that smells a lot like testosterone. Then there's Chael Sonnen. Now, Chael is a professional instigator, but the man knows his way around a needle.
You guys know what a dry snitch is? Have you heard that term? A dry snitch is a lingo on the streets. And you know what a rat is. A rat is somebody that gets in a jam, but if they have information on somebody that's bigger, you can take the cheese, you can give that information up, you can get yourself out. Okay. But a dry snitch is where you're not in a jam, there's nothing on the table, and you just offer a guy up. You just offered him up. And I gotta tell you, so a couple of months ago, I did Andrew Schultz's show, and topic of LeBron James have come up. LeBron James and EPO.
He went on a podcast and claimed flat out that he and LeBron have the same guy. He specifically mentioned EPO, the stuff cyclists use to have infinite cardio.
I'm on Andrew Schultz, and man, this guy, he's taking EPO. We got the same deal there.
Suanen basically said that LeBron is clean in the same way a freshly waxed car is clean. It looks great on the surface, but there's a lot of chemistry keeping it that way. CH's argument is that you can't have that much mass and that much endurance at that age without some chemical help. And honestly, watching LeBron sprint back on defense in the fourth quarter after playing 40 minutes, it's hard to argue that he's just really well hydrated.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything he can do to damage his career at this point, to be real with you.
Yeah.
Unless he legitimately gets busted for steroids or any type of peds.
100%.
Think back to the Miami Heat days. That's when the LeBron is a tank narrative really took off. He looked like he was carved out of granite. He didn't just have muscles. He had muscles on his muscles, and yet he never got tired. He'd play every game, every minute, and then go to the Olympics in the summer. It's a level of recovery that makes Wolverine look like a couch potato. If you look at the clips from that era compared to now, he hasn't actually lost much. His vertical might be down an inch, but his power is still there. At 41, your testosterone should be naturally plummeting. You should be losing muscle mass. You should be taking 3 days to recover from a light jog. LeBron is doing the opposite. He's essentially a 250-pound science experiment that plays point guard. We also have to look at the German doctor's theory. Whenever LeBron has a minor injury that should take 6 weeks to heal, he disappears for 10 days and comes back looking stronger than before. I went to see a specialist, he says. Right. A specialist who happens to live in a country where the regulations on experimental treatments are, let's say, flexible. It's the same thing Kobe used to do with his knees. It's called regenesine or plateletary plasma therapy on the brochures, but who knows what's actually in the cocktail when you're the most famous athlete on the planet. And let's talk about the $1.5 million investment again because it's such a great cover story. It's the perfect way to explain away any physical abnormality. Oh, you think it's weird I have the recovery time of a teenager? It's the $1.5 million. It's a brilliant marketing move. It turns a potential scandal into a work ethic narrative. It makes every other player in the league feel lazy because they only spend a couple hundred $000 on their bodies. But if it were just money and biohacking, why isn't everyone doing it? Why isn't Steph Curry suddenly 230 pounds of pure muscle? Why isn't Kevin Durant leaping over people at 37? Because even with the best trainers and the best kale, Father Time eventually catches you. Unless, of course, you've got a better chemist than Father Time. The physical transformation of LeBron James over the years is something that medical journals should probably study, or maybe the DEA. If you look at his rookie year in Cleveland, he was a lean, explosive athlete. Then he went to Miami and suddenly looked like he was auditioning for the role of the Incredible Hulk. His jawline got broader, his shoulders became boulders, and his stamina reached levels that shouldn't be possible for a human being carrying that much weight. This isn't just about maturing into your body. This is about a radical shift in physiology. Usually, when a player gets that big, they get slower. They get heavy feet. LeBron got faster. He became a locomotive that could also dance. Let's discuss the anti-aging industry for a second. We live in an era where billionaires like Brian Johnson are spending millions to inject themselves with the blood of their children to stay young. Do we really think the most competitive athlete in history isn't looking into every possible gray area of medicine? LeBron wants to be the greatest of all time. He wants the records. He wants the longevity. If there's a peptide, a hormone, or a designer steroid that hasn't hit the banned list yet, you can bet your bottom dollar it's in his morning smoothie. The NBA's stance on this is the funniest part of all. The league is a business. LeBron James is the face of that business. If the face of your business is found to be using banned substances, your stock price drops. So, what do? You create a testing system that is essentially an IQ test. If you're smart enough to hire the right doctors, you'll never fail. It's a symbiotic relationship. LeBron gets to stay superhuman, and the NBA gets to sell jerseys and TV rights. Everyone wins, except for the poor rookies who have to try and guard a 41-year-old cyborg who hasn't lost a step since 2005. Consider the recovery aspect. This is the biggest red flag of all. In the clip from the Wizards game, LeBron is playing at high intensity. After a dunk like that, a normal 41-year-old would need a seat on the bench and a heating pad. LeBron just jogs back, smiles, and does it again 5 minutes later. The sheer volume of games he has played is staggering. He has more minutes on his body than almost anyone in history. Yet, he has never had a catastrophic career-ending injury. No Achilles tears, no blown-out knees, nothing. His luck with injuries is either a statistical miracle or the result of a very advanced cellular repair protocol. Think back to the Strive for Greatness slogan. It's a great piece of branding. It frames everything he does as a result of his mentality. If he's still elite at 41, it's because he wants it more. If he recovers faster, it's because he sleeps more. It's a narrative that ignores the reality of human biology. No amount of wanting it prevents muscle fiber degradation. No amount of sleep stops the natural decline of explosive power. Unless, of course, your mentality includes the willingness to do whatever it takes, legally or otherwise, to maintain your edge. Even the way he talks about his longevity feels scripted. He talks about his secret being his discipline. He posts videos of himself in the gym at 5 a.m., but there are thousands of athletes who work just as hard and disappear by 32. The difference isn't the work, the difference is the resource. LeBron has access to things the average player doesn't even know exist. He's the ultimate beta tester for the future of human performance. Let's look at the accidental evidence. Remember when LeBron's wife, Savannah, posted a video where he seemed to have some weird marks on his stomach? The internet went wild claiming they were injection sites. Of course, the 1.5 million PR team stepped in and said they were just from a medical procedure or cupping. It's always something else. It's never the obvious thing. It's like seeing a guy with a white powder under his nose and he tells you he just finished a powdered donut. At some point, you have to stop looking at the donut and start looking at the powder. And then there's the LeBron versus Jordan longevity debate. Jordan retired, came back, retired, and came back again. By the time he was 40 on the Wizards, he was still good, but he was a shell of his former self. He couldn't jump over a phone book. He was playing old man ball, mid-range jumpers, and savvy post moves. LeBron is still trying to jump over people. He's playing young man ball in an old man's body. If the greatest player of all time couldn't keep his athleticism at 40, how is LeBron actually improving his dunks? It doesn't pass the eye test. The psychological pressure must be immense. To be LeBron James is to be under a microscope every second of every day. To keep up the facade of being a natural wonder while potentially being a walking pharmacy requires a level of discipline that is in itself superhuman. If he is on something, he's the most disciplined user in history. He doesn't have the roid rage outbursts. He doesn't get sloppy. He stays composed, stays professional, and stays on top. But look at the cost. He's setting an impossible standard. Young players look at him and think that if they just work hard, they can play until they're 45. They don't realize that they're competing against $1 billion infrastructure. They're bringing knives to a gunfight, and the gun is loaded with HGH and EPO. It's a distorted version of reality that we've all agreed to participate in because it's entertaining. What happens when he finally retires? Does he suddenly deflate? Will we see a retired LeBron who looks 20 pounds lighter and can barely reach the rim? That's usually the telltale sign. Look at any retired athlete who is suspected of using 2 years of leaving the testing pool. They look like a completely different person. They lose the pop. They lose the mass. And they finally start looking their age. If LeBron retires and suddenly looks like a regular 45-year-old, we'll have our answer. Until then, we get to watch him dominate the Wizards. We get to watch the father-son storyline play out like a Disney movie. We get to see Bronny try to emulate a man who might be more machine than human at this point. It's a fascinating time to be a basketball fan, as long as you don't mind a little bit of unnatural assistance in your sports. The most hilarious part of this whole thing is the Bronny element. LeBron is literally playing with his son. He's outlived an entire generation of players. He's played against fathers and then played against their sons. He's basically a vampire, but instead of blood, he drinks whatever is in those unlabeled green bottles he carries around on the sidelines. If you think LeBron is just a natural freak of nature, you're probably the same person who thinks reality TV is real. But hey, as long as he's still dunking, who are we to judge the science? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the King's secret sauce, hit that like button and subscribe for more.